Good morning, everybody. This is Jabin Banu M. Nadaf, Selection Grade Lecturer in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Belgavi. Dear students, till now we have discussed about the Unit 2, transistors and MOSFETs. In that, we have reached till the last point of the Chapter 2, that is, differentiate between BJT and MOSFET. In the previous class, we have discussed about how MOSFET was used like a switch and the examples pertaining to the MOSFET as a switch, certain applications of the MOSFET we have discussed, and the ratings of the MOSFET we have discussed. So let's quickly recall what we have studied in the previous class. So we studied MOSFET like a switch. So this is the MOS symbol, drain, this is the gate, and this is the source terminal to the gate. We are connecting the input voltage, and at the drain terminal we are obtaining the output voltage, or across the RD we can write as the output voltage. So a voltage of plus VDD is connected between the drain and the source. So if Vi is 0, it means that we have VGS is also 0. What is this VGS? It is the input to the MOS. So VGS is 0, which means that VGS is less than VTH. This condition, whenever the value of VGS is less than VTH, this condition has now become true. So if this condition true, then what happens to the MOS? The MOS, we have studied from the characteristics that it pushes itself to the cutoff region. So once it pushes itself to cutoff region, then the value of the drain current is 0. So no current flows from drain to source. It means that this is a open switch. If no current flows from the drain to source, then the value of the V0 or the voltage across the resistance RD is 0. Also, now if you make Vi is equal to VDD, so what is VDD? It is nothing but plus 5 volts, a normal voltage which can be connected to the MOSFET. So now my VGS is much greater than VTH. What is VGS? Again, it is the input to the MOSFET. In this condition, now the MOS is driven to saturation region. So our V0 is equal to VDD. Close, the V0 will be equal to VDD. It means that your MOS is on and the entire load can be controlled. What is the meaning of the load here? The meaning of the load is, instead of RD, I can replace this by any DC motor, a small size or a 12 volt DC motor, or I can use a relay here, or I can use a lamp here, or I can use a LED here. We also discussed how these appliances can be turned on and off by the concept of MOSFET as a switch. Also, we discussed applications and ratings of the MOSFET. So what are the fewer applications? So it is used in logic gates, it is used in microprocessors and microcontrollers, it is used as a memory devices, it is used in all switching applications, it is used in variable frequency drives, it is used in all radio frequency applications, etc. N number of applications are there. Also, we discussed about the ratings of the MOSFET. What are the ratings? What is V threshold? Because it is the first requirement, or whatever value of input voltage we apply, if it is greater than this VTH, only the MOS is going to be on. So then we have drain current or maximum drain current. Then we have what is the supply voltage. It varies MOS works on plus 5 volts also, plus 15 volts also. It depends on what is the VDD, then what is the operating temperature, what are the junction voltages. We have a junction from gate to source, we have a junction from drain to source, then we have what is voltage from drain to source, we have the voltage drain and gate, then we have the junction capacitance, then we have the breakdown voltage, maximum breakdown voltage if the drain to source is connected in reverse bias mode, then we have on time and off time of the MOSFET, where the MOSFET will be turned as a switch on and off within this much or mentioned amount of time. We have the power dissipation. Whatever ratings we discussed, all the ratings will be available in the data sheet of the MOSFET. Every MOS device or every MOS IC is having its own data sheet which tells us about all the details of that particular device and its characteristics also, and how it is going to vary and for what application it is going to be used. So let's quickly come back for our today's session. In the today's session, we are just having a discussion on differentiate between the BJT and the MOSFET. We already studied what is the BJT. They are the bipolar junction transistors, and what is the MOSFET? They are the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors. Okay. We also have studied the constructional differences between these two, the characters between these two, the problems what those both devices are going to suffer, and the applications of both the devices, etc. Let's enumerate it in detail. So if you look at the structure wise of a BJT, see a BJT in case of a NPN transistor, a P type of layer or semiconductor is sandwiched between two N regions. N regions. The blue ones are the N regions and the green one is the P region. Or in case of a PNP transistor, a N type of layer will be sandwiched between two P type of layers. This is a structural difference of how BJT is constructed for a NPN and a PNP transistor. If you look at the MOSFET structure, the MOSFET structure has a P type of substrate in which two N plus regions are diffused. So these two N plus regions will form the drain and the source terminal, whereas the P region along with the oxide and metal, the P region means it is semiconductor, this forms the MOS structure. So it is a P channel type of it is a N channel type of the MOSFET here. So likewise in the N channel, if you see, the current will be flowing from drain to source in the N channel, in the channel only where the channel is constructed here. Okay, so similarly we have a P channel type of the MOSFET. Its construction is exactly opposite of the N channel. Their channel will be P, substrate will be N, diffuser will be P plus regions. This P plus regions will form the drain and the source. This N along with the metal and the oxide will form a gate terminal. So this is in case of a structural difference how the BJT and the MOSFET are going to vary. So if you look at the terminals of the BJT and the MOSFET, we have drain, gate and source. For the MOS terminals, the MOS device or the MOSFET has three terminals. It's namely drain, gate and source. Whereas in case of the BJT, we have emitter, base and collector. So depending on which is common, I can make my base common, then it is called as common base configuration. I can make emitter common, it is called as common emitter configuration. If I make collector common, it is called as common collector configuration. Where in case of the BJTs, we have these configurations. If you look at the MOS configuration, we have common gate configuration, common source configuration and common drain configuration. See, gate will be common, source will be common and drain will be common. So depending on what is our application, commonly we will be using the common source amplifiers in case of the MOSFET and common emitter amplifiers in case of the BJT. So if you see the types, already we discussed it. So I am just mentioning it, types of the transistors in the BJTs are PNP devices and the NPN devices, and the type of the transistors in the MOSFETs are the N-channel MOSFET and the P-channel MOSFET. So, if you look at the differences, the input base current is IB, the collector current is IC, the emitter current is IE. So, a small input current will give a large output current. Why? Because the output current is multiplied by some large number into the input current. So this large number is called as the gain of the transistor, and from this we can infer that the input current is responsible for the gain in the output. Okay. For that sake, the input base current controls the output collector current. Because of this, these devices are called as current controlled. The BJTs are current controlled devices. So if you look at the MOS, let us look at the MOS here. In the MOS, we have the gain which is given by transconductance GM into VDS or delta VDS. What is VDS? It is the output. What is the gain? It is the amplification factor. How the drain current is being amplified or the input gate voltage is being amplified. Okay. So by what factor? By a factor of GM, by a factor of conductance. Here, the output side, gain is the output side. Okay. It is controlled by amount of gate voltage multiplied by the transconductance parameter. So what is transconductance? It is current divided by voltage VDS divided by VGS. So here this is multiplied by VDS. So VDS divided by VGS is the actual gain of the amplifier. If I vary the input voltage, what is the change in the output voltage? So therefore, this input gate voltage is controlling the output VDS. If my VDS is controlled, automatically the drain current is controlled. For this sake, the devices are voltage controlled devices. The devices are the voltage controlled devices. So if you see at the type of the charge carriers moving or responsible for the flow of the current, then we can see that in the BJTs they are bipolar devices. The BJTs are called as the bipolar devices. Why? Because I have a P type where the electrons are the majority charge carriers. I have a N type where the electrons are the majority charge carriers. I have a P type where holes are the majority charge carriers. Again, I have a N type where electrons are majority charge carriers. So entire the current which is flowing from emitter to base to collector. So entire moment, if it is the electrons or holes which are moving, then they move from E to B to C, or they move from C to B to E, whichever is the type of the transistor. But what are contributing for the flow of current? Both electrons and holes contribute for the flow of current. See, if my output current is IC, I know that beta into IB. So in the base region, we say, or in the collector region, what are helping for me for the flow of the current? Both the electrons and holes are helping for me for the flow of the current. Since we are using two types of charge carriers, so we can term them, they are bipolar devices. Hence the name is called as bipolar junction transistor, or I will call it as bipolar also because it has two junctions. Junction of the emitter and the base, junction of the collector and the base. So if you look at the MOS devices, either I talk of a N channel. So we know that the structure is, it has a P type of substrate where the N regions are being diffused and the N channel is formed. This is the N channel form. So in this channel area, if you see, only electrons are there. There are no holes present. So only one type of charge carrier is responsible for the current to flow from drain to source. Therefore, these devices are called as unipolar devices because only one type of charge carrier are useful here. Okay, so in the N channel, what type of charge carriers are helping for me for the flow of current? Electrons are the charge carriers that are helping for me for the flow of current. If you look at the P channel type of the MOSFET, of course we have not studied this P type, but let us try to understand what may be the difference. It is exactly opposite of the N type. So in the N channel, if the electrons are helping for me for the flow of current, in the P channel, holes will be helping for me for the flow of the current. Okay, so therefore the MOSFETs are unipolar devices. So we already discussed the input current. The input current helps for me for the controlling the output current. So since the input side is a current, it is flowing inside the transistor. Therefore, the current variation high will be high, a minimum of little bit. The current variation is there at the input side. Therefore, the Z input of the BJTs will be low. It means that it has a very low impedance. Because of its low impedance, the noise margin is high. So what is the meaning of a noise margin? This you have already studied in your digital electronics chapter 1, I feel. Then in the noise margin, if you see how much capacity or within what range of noise it can handle, that is called as a noise margin. So BJTs have a higher noise margin as compared to the MOSFETs because it's higher. What is the noise margin? Ability to tolerate the signals. So what kind of signals? Signals from the vehicles, signals of the mobile, that is electromagnetic interferences, then some of the unwanted voices, all these are voice disturbances, all these are no, they are comes under the noise. So unwanted things, how to what level it can tolerate, that is called as the noise margin. So let us talk of the MOSFET now. So here the input current flowing through the gate is very less. Of course the current is flowing, it's very less and not of that much consideration for us to study the behavior of the MOS devices. Okay, but this device is controlled by the VGS. So only voltage is responsible for us. So gate is not at all responsible for us in this case. Okay, because current is very much less or current is not at all utilized, its input impedance is high. So if the input impedance is high, automatically the noise margin will be low. So ability to tolerate the signals will be very much low here. So now what is the gain? So gain is called as the ratio of the output current to the input current in case of the MOS devices. So it is a current in case of the BJTs. So if we talk of the BJTs, so because of it talks only of the current capacity is more in case of the BJTs because the charge carriers are more in number and both electrons and holes are available. Therefore, the gain is very much high. The gain is very much high. Because of this, it is using usually high current and high power applications. Of course, it is used for a medium frequency, but its frequency or switching is not that much better as compared to the MOSFETs. Okay, so in case of the MOSFETs, the ratio of the output current to the input voltage, okay, this is called as the gain, that is the transconductance. Transconductance multiplied by VDS is gives us the V0 or it is called as a gain of the MOS devices. It is preferably low as compared to the BJTs because we are talking only of the voltages here. Because of which it is used in high frequency because its switching performance is very nice. Power it is used for the medium, so we can just call it as low power or the medium power. So the BJTs have negative temperature coefficient of resistance. It means that as resistance increases, the temperature decreases, or for lower values of temperature the resistance will be high. As temperature goes on increasing, the resistance goes on decreasing. This is called as negative temperature coefficient of resistance. If we talk of the MOS devices, they have a positive temperature coefficient of resistance. It means that as temperature increases, the resistance of the MOS devices increases. That is the meaning of positive temperature coefficient of resistance. So the MOS, it suffers from thermal runaway. The BJTs suffer from thermal runaway. So what is the meaning of this thermal runaway? It is the self-destruction of the transistor. Self-destruction of the, it destroys automatically by itself. It is called as a thermal runaway, which usually occurs in the BJTs. Then what is the drawback of the MOS? The MOS suffers from secondary breakdown. So just understand what is the secondary breakdown and what is the thermal runaway. Let's quickly move on. So what is thermal runaway? So if you see at the thermal runaway, so we can talk because two type of charge carriers are there. So one will be majority and one will be minority, either in the P type or the N type. One will be majority and another will be the minority. Okay, the current due to the minority charge carriers is called as the saturation current or the reverse leakage current. The minority current is called as the saturation current or the reverse leakage current. This is directly dependent on the temperature. A little bit of this increase, a small increase in IS causes a large increase in temperature. Again, this temperature is again interdependent on the IS. So if temperature rises, again IS rises. If IS rises, again temperature rises. This is a cumulative effect. Because of this cumulative effect, the heat inside the transistor rises up too badly that it destroys the transistor. This effect is called as the thermal runaway of the transistor. It occurs in the BJTs. So if you see in the MOS devices, so if you look at the output characteristics, it is a plot of ID versus VDS for constant values of VGS. For constant values of VGS. So if I go on increasing the VDS until certain point, only the drain current is constant. After a certain point, the drain current sharply rises. This is called as the secondary breakdown of the MOS FET. So if it sharply rises, then this value of ID will be much greater than the rating of the ID what the MOS is designed for. Hence the MOS will try to be destroyed. So therefore we have to operate our value of VDS within the specified limit only. We can't increase it to a very large number. So this is called a secondary breakdown of the MOS FETs. So let us look at the next difference. So all the differences we have completed. Still many differences we can say. We can talk in case of the voltage compatibility, the current, and the interfacing compatibility. The BJTs are quite useful for the interfacing because they use a TTL logic, and their TTL logic are far much better than the MOS logic. Okay, so these are certain references what I have referred. So here you have a YouTube link here. You can just copy it and view how actually the differences and the clarity of the BJTs and the MOSFET is exactly maintained and shown for you. You can understand it in a much better way. So there is a less time limit. I will not be showing you the differences. So let's quickly come at the questions now. So which of these are the terminals of the BJTs? So option 1 or A, drain, gate and source. Option B, emitter, base and collector. Option C, emitter, base and drain. Option D, drain, gate and collector. So I'll wait for 2 seconds. Let me see. The students have understood, means they will be knowing the answers. What are the terminals of the BJTs? Transistor terminals. So all of you will have the idea that they are. So let's write the answer. See, answer B, emitter, base and collector. So if we in the case of this is a BJT, so we have emitter, base and collector. For MOS it will be different. So if you see at the MOS, for the MOS I have drain, gate and source. Next question, The types of MOS FETs are P channel and N channel, NPN and PNP, only PNP or only N channel. So MOS devices we just studied now, they are unipolar devices. Unipolar means only N will be helping or only P will be helping. So I guess you have got the answer. The answer is A, that is P channel or N channel. Third question, in BJTs, which of the following is a controlling parameter? The meaning of this question is, what is the current or voltage which helps me in controlling the output current or the output voltage? So option A, drain current. Option B, gate voltage. Option C, base current. And option D, collector current. If you recall what is collector current IC, it is equal to beta into IB. By looking at this equation, I can tell output is controlled by which current. So let us look at the answer. The answer is C, that it is the base current. So next question, which of the following are unipolar devices? This already we discussed in before 2 slides. The answer is diode. The options are diode, then BJTs, MOS FETs and both A and B. So do not get confused with the fourth option. Just understand what are the unipolar devices. So what may be the answer? The answer is C, that is MOS FET. So next question, dash suffers from thermal runaway. Answer BJT. So BJT suffers from the thermal runaway. Just now we have discussed it. Okay. So dash device has positive temperature coefficient of resistance. So which are the only 2 devices we studied? We studied about the MOS, we studied about the BJT. So what is meaning of the positive temperature coefficient? Also we discussed. If the resistance increases, temperature increases. So what may be the answer? The answer is MOSFETs have positive temperature coefficient of resistance. Dash suffers from secondary breakdown. So only we have two faults in the transistor. We have thermal runaway, and in some of the devices we have secondary breakdown. So what are the in which devices? The MOSFETs suffer from secondary breakdown. So next question. So questions are over. So thank you for one and all. I hope you have understood about the concept of the transistors and the MOSFETs, and these basics are much important for you to understand the behavioral parameters of oscillators and operational amplifiers. Okay. So the names which you are seeing are the persons who have successfully put too many efforts for the completion of this unit and the curriculum. Thank you once again.